For the Sigma male, life is about clarity. He doesn't follow trends, he doesn't chase attention, and he definitely doesn't need a crowd to feel confident. He moves on instinct, silence, and precision. But when it comes to women, even the Sigma male has a moment that changes everything. That moment isn't loud. It doesn't come from a heartbreak or a grand realization. It comes from watching, from listening, from slowly noticing what most men miss. And when it hits, the way he sees women and how he connects with them completely shifts. At first, the Sigma male may keep women at a distance. He's not emotionally closed, but he's careful. He watches behavior, not just words. He observes how people treat others when no one's watching. He doesn't get caught up in the games, the flirting, or the drama. He's focused on what's real. But that same independence can also make him miss something important. It's not that he doesn't value women. It's that he sees too many who pretend to be something they're not, or chase attention the way others chase power. That noise turns him off. It makes him retreat. But eventually something changes. He meets a woman, or maybe a few, who don't follow the same pattern. And slowly something clicks. Not because of what she says, but because of what she doesn't say. Not because of how she looks, but because of how she carries herself. Not because she tries to impress, but because she's real, and it shows. That's the moment the Sigma male finally sees it. She's not here to be chased. She's here to be seen. She doesn't want control. She wants connection. She doesn't ask for validation. She asks for truth. And from that point on, everything changes. He starts seeing women differently. He starts noticing what's real. He starts understanding the difference between surface attraction and deep respect. And once this shift happens, he can't go back. Let's break down the 6 things the Sigma male starts to understand in that moment. Thing number 1, he realizes that she's not about approval, she's about truth. The Sigma male understands the trap of approval better than most. He's spent his life avoiding the need to be accepted by everyone. That's what makes him different. But at some point, he starts projecting that same expectation onto women, thinking they're all seeking the same kind of approval he rejected. He sees women who dress for attention, who speak in a way that feels rehearsed, who move with the energy of someone who wants to be seen, not understood. And for a while that creates distance. He respects it, but he doesn't trust it. It doesn't feel grounded. It doesn't feel clear. But eventually he encounters a different type of woman. One who isn't chasing likes or compliments. One who doesn't need to be told she's valuable because she already knows. And suddenly he realizes something big. She's not performing. She's just present. She's not asking for approval. She's walking in her truth. That hits the Sigma male differently. Because now he's not analyzing. He's listening. He's not observing for patterns. He's paying attention to presence. And what he sees is something he didn't expect. A woman who stands alone, just like he does. She doesn't care if he's impressed. She cares if he's honest. She doesn't change herself to match him. She stays steady, even if that means he doesn't respond right away. That kind of energy cuts through everything else. And in that moment, he feels something rare. Respect. Not attraction based on looks or style, but respect based on truth, based on stillness, based on clarity. He realizes that not all women are chasing something. Some are simply holding space. Some are walking through life with their own compass. Some aren't asking for attention. They're asking for alignment. And that shift changes the Sigma male completely. Now he's not interested in being the smartest man in the room. He's interested in real connection. He's not trying to lead or impress. He's trying to understand. He's no longer looking for a woman who plays the game well. He's looking for the one who refuses to play it at all. That's when everything starts to shift. Thing number 2, he understands that her space and freedom matter as much as his own freedom is everything to the Sigma male. It's how he breathes, how he thinks, and how he stays sharp. He avoids anything that tries to trap him, whether it's a person, a system, or a lifestyle. That's why he moves carefully in relationships. He won't tolerate control, drama, or demands. He needs space to stay whole. But early on, that mindset can cause a problem. The Sigma male may protect his own freedom while failing to fully respect hers. Not because he's selfish, but because he's used to being the one who needs distance. The one who needs silence. The one who needs space to recharge. Then one day he meets a woman who values those same things. She doesn't text constantly. She doesn't need constant reassurance. She doesn't panic when he disappears for a day to think. She just lets him breathe. And more than that, she expects to breathe too. That's when it hits him. She's not being distant. She's being balanced. She needs space the same way he does. She needs time to think. She has her own goals, her own rituals, her own process. She's not standing behind him waiting. She's walking beside him, sometimes ahead, sometimes alone, but always whole. This shifts everything for the Sigma male. He realizes that a healthy connection doesn't mean constant closeness. It means mutual freedom. It means trusting that silence doesn't mean distance. That space doesn't mean disconnection. And that time apart doesn't mean love is missing. Sometimes it means it's growing. He starts giving her space without guilt. He stops expecting her to drop everything when he shows up. He doesn't assume she's always available just because she cares. And that respect deepens the bond. He also sees her strength differently now. She's not strong because she's cold. She's strong because she knows how to stand alone. And that's the kind of woman he can truly build with. Not someone who needs him to feel whole, but someone who brings her own wholeness to the table. This shift removes tension. It creates peace. The Sigma male no longer feels like he has to explain his need for space. And she no longer feels like she has to fight for hers. They just understand. And from that understanding, something powerful begins to form. Thing number 3. He sees that her value isn't in being seen, but in being known. The Sigma male has a sharp eye. He sees what others miss. But sometimes, in a world built on appearances, even he can get distracted. He may notice the woman who commands a room, the one with presence, energy, and power. And for a while that catches his attention. But eventually he realizes something is off. She's seen by everyone, but not really known by anyone. That's when the shift begins. The Sigma male starts to understand that being visible doesn't always mean being valuable. That just because someone's loud, confident, or popular doesn't mean they're real. He starts looking past the image and starts paying attention to what's underneath. He notices the quiet one in the room. The woman who doesn't speak just to be heard. The one who watches first, thinks deeply, and moves with intention. She may not stand out at first. But over time, she starts to feel more solid, more grounded, more honest. That kind of depth can't be faked. She's not showing off. She's showing up, fully, quietly, and without needing applause. And that's what wakes the Sigma male up. He starts to crave something different. He no longer wants a woman who's known by everyone but understood by no one. He wants the one who carries her story in silence, who reveals pieces slowly, not because she's hiding, but because she values trust. This changes how he listens. He begins asking different questions. He pays attention to tone, not just words. He values moments of vulnerability more than moments of attention. And slowly he starts connecting with her on a level he didn't know was possible. Because now he sees the difference. There's the woman who wants to be seen, and then there's the woman who wants to be known. And when he finally sees her, really sees her, everything about how he connects changes. He's no longer chasing beauty. He's building understanding. He's no longer trying to impress. He's trying to connect. And in that space something real begins to grow. Thing number 4, he recognizes that her emotion isn't weakness, it's depth. The Sigma male is logical. He thinks clearly, acts with control, and doesn't get swept away easily. That's part of his strength. But that same strength can sometimes create distance, especially when it comes to emotion. In the past, he may have seen emotion as something to manage or avoid. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't know what to do with it. Especially when a woman expresses deep feeling, sadness, frustration, joy, passion, it might feel unpredictable to him. And unpredictability isn't his comfort zone. But over time, something shifts. He starts noticing how emotion shows up with purpose. That when a woman expresses how she feels, she's not being irrational, she's being real. She's showing truth in a different language. And when he finally chooses to stop analyzing and start listening, he sees it clearly. Her emotion isn't noise. It's data. It's connection. It's insight. That moment changes everything. Now, instead of seeing tears as a breakdown, he sees them as release. Instead of seeing passion as instability, he sees it as commitment. Instead of stepping back when she feels deeply, he stays grounded, not to fix it, but to understand it. That choice builds trust. Because when a woman feels deeply, she's not asking for control. She's asking for presence. She's asking to be held, not physically always, but emotionally. To be met, not managed. And the Sigma male, once he sees that, becomes far more powerful. Now he responds with calm instead of confusion. He supports instead of analyzing. He knows when to speak and when to simply sit beside her without judgment. And that presence, that emotional stability, makes her feel seen in a way few men ever offer. He also starts appreciating her depth. He sees how emotion connects her to the world, to people, to creativity, and to truth. He sees that her emotional clarity brings wisdom that logic alone can't reach. And in that moment, she's not too much. She's not confusing. She's not dramatic. She's human. Deeply, powerfully human. And now he finally sees it. Thing number 5. He gets that what draws him to her isn't her perfection, but her integrity. The Sigma male doesn't fall for fantasy. He's not impressed by shallow success or polished perfection. But even he can be fooled by surface from time to time, especially in a world that rewards appearance over alignment. He may have once chased the woman who seemed perfect, the one who looked like she had it all figured out, the one who said all the right things and moved through life like everything was in control. But something didn't feel real. Then, over time, he meets someone different. She's not trying to be perfect. She's trying to be honest. She admits when she's wrong. She owns her flaws. She doesn't fake strength. She builds it quietly. And the Sigma male stops in his tracks. He realizes something powerful. It's not her smoothness that draws him in. It's her truth. Her consistency. Her ability to say what she means and mean what she says. That's integrity. It's not just about morality. It's about alignment. about living in a way where the inside matches the outside. And once he sees that in her, he stops looking for the polished version of anyone else. Now he wants real. He doesn't care if she has a complicated past, as long as she owns it. He doesn't need her to impress anyone, as long as she respects herself. He doesn't need a trophy. He wants a partner. This shift changes how he chooses. He stops picking based on image and starts picking based on principle. He listens to how she talks about people when they're not in the room. He watches how she treats strangers. He pays attention to whether her words and actions match, not once, but every time. That's what builds long-term connection. And now the Sigma male won't settle for less. He's not drawn to beauty without backbone. He's not impressed by charm without consistency. Because once he understands that integrity is the real anchor, that's all he looks for. And when he finds it, he respects it more than anything else. Thing number 6, he knows that together they create more than alone, but only if there's no loss of self. The Sigma male values independence more than anything. His life is built on freedom, silence, and direction. He spent years protecting his identity, making sure no one can take away his time, energy, or peace. That's why commitment for him has never been about fear. It's been about cost. He fears losing himself in a relationship, being pulled into someone else's chaos, being asked to give up his nature for comfort or routine. So for a long time he stays guarded, alone by choice. But one day something shifts. He meets a woman who doesn't try to pull him into her orbit. She's not looking for someone to fix her or follow her. She's not impressed by his solitude. She respects it. And she wants to protect her own just as much. This balance surprises him. For the first time, he sees that a real connection doesn't take away who you are. It expands it. It builds, it sharpens, it strengthens, but only if both people are whole before they meet. He sees that two individuals, when aligned, don't become smaller, they become stronger. And that's when everything changes. Now he's not afraid of love. He's not running from connection. He's running from loss of identity, and he no longer has to choose between love and self. This woman doesn't demand his attention. She shares energy. She doesn't want control. She wants clarity. She doesn't make him choose between his freedom and her presence. She lets both exist side by side. That's rare. And he knows it. He realizes that the right connection isn't about sacrifice, it's about balance. He doesn't have to stop being a Sigma male. He just has to find someone who doesn't need to change him to feel secure. Together they move forward, side by side, not tangled, whole, not dependent. And the more he accepts this truth, the stronger his relationships become. Now he knows he can love fully, deeply, and without fear, as long as the connection doesn't demand the death of his individual spirit. And in that moment, everything aligns. For the Sigma male, the journey is always inward first. He seeks clarity, truth, and peace within himself before he ever brings someone else into his space. But when he finally understands these things about women, everything shifts. He realizes that she's not looking for approval, she's looking for honesty. He sees that her freedom isn't a challenge, it's a sign of strength. He understands that being known matters more than being seen. He recognizes that emotion is not weakness, it's wisdom in motion. He learns that perfection is overrated, but integrity is priceless. And most of all, he finally sees that real love doesn't require him to give up who he is. It allows him to become even more. That's the moment the Sigma male transforms. Not by becoming someone new, but by seeing others with new eyes. And from that space, he's no longer guarded. He's just selective. He's no longer avoiding love, he's just waiting for it to be real. And when he finds it, he's ready. Fully. Quietly. Without fear.